Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry, it's like a super awkward angle. Bristol's making her own video. If you hear her talking, that's why. So I think my last video was like 2 weeks ago was when I posted that. So since then, some things that I may have talked about then were kind of different. I had talked about getting a different job, and I'm currently not working there either. So, you know, that's nice because I get time with Bristol, but it's also stressful because, like, you know, you need the money, but it's fine. I also had my sugar test between that time and now, and everything was good with my sugar test. So I'm on my way for my sugar test, and obviously I look terrible, and I'm praying my sugar doesn't drop before I get there. So let's go. And I've got the crib together now. I think I had mentioned that in that video, and the changing table. I'll try to do like a video of the nursery. It's kind of Bristol and his room, so it's kind of a mixture, and everything's not completely ready, but I'm just super excited. Things are coming together. I'm 30 weeks and let's see, I think 5 days, 4 or 5 days, 30 weeks, 4 days. So we're kind of just in the end here. Not the end, but we're getting close to the end. And she's trying to do the same thing that I'm doing. And I know in that video I had talked about those new children's books I had purchased. The one that I had purchased, There's a Mouse About the House, that is Bristol's absolute favorite book. Like, she wants to read it all the time. That's definitely a book that I recommend. If you have small children, they will love it. It's very interactive because the little mouse like goes through the house as you read the book, and she just really loved that. So my mom's planning me a baby shower. It's kind of different because of this pandemic that's going on. We can't exactly have, you know, what we want necessarily. Like, I gave the option in the description to either drop off or come and like wear your mask. And I know some people can't wear your mask because of health reasons, like I get that. But I don't know, I was super disappointed because of the pandemic that I'm not gonna get a baby shower. Like, obviously I had one with Bristol, and that's, I mean, I guess like some people think it's like most important with your first. But it's important to me with both of them, you know, and the difference in a boy and a girl, you know, it's important to me too. So I'm excited we kind of get to do that. It may be different, but that's exciting. I feel like I have grown, like my stomach has expanded so much just in the last couple weeks. I mean, I'm not huge by no means, but I do feel like I'm a lot bigger than I was with Bristol, which is my second. I know that's common. It's just funny to see the difference So, but we do have the crib together. We have the changing table. Bristol's bed is in the room, so they kind of share. I wanted her to feel like she had a space too, because before she did not have a room. She kind of shared with me. So now she has her own space, and she really likes the changing table being in there. It's really funny because we didn't have one with her. I mean, she's been to daycare, so she's used the changing table and in public, but she just loves that changing table. We have a swing. Well, actually, I have 2 swings, so that's really nice. Because one's like the one that sits close to the floor, and then one is the one that sits higher up. And a bouncy seat now. I think I'm gonna have 2 of a lot of things, which is super helpful because we're multiple places sometimes, and that way I may not have to pack them back and forth. So that's super helpful. And yeah, if you're somebody that like has to take your child back and forth, give me tips on that. I feel like we've done a pretty decent job with Bristol, but you know, I'm sure there's better ways. And like, if you're a parent, a mom that organizes, I really would enjoy to have tips on that kind of thing. I just want to be super organized, not just with the baby, but I want to be more organized with Bristol. So if you have tips on organizing toys, clothes for toddlers, let me know. I have a lot of stuff saved on like my Pinterest and things like that, but it's nice to have somebody actually giving me ideas. So yeah, let me know about that. And people were telling me my comments were not on in my last video. I'm trying to fix that. I'm by no means a professional at this. Obviously, you can tell by every video my lighting is. I have to work my lighting. I'm hoping to do better with these videos over the next year or 2 and actually get sorry, I talk with my hands too. I know they're like all up in the way, but I'm hoping to get an actual like ring light and hopefully get a camera, because I do these on my phone and that's kind of hard. But this is something that like I enjoy doing like for myself. I don't really have a hobby, so I would like this to be a hobby. You know, and I want to start talking about more. Like, I'm really passionate about breastfeeding. I didn't get to breastfeed Bristol long due to having my gallbladder out, and then I had to have a stent, and yeah, the medicine just kind of didn't work out with my body for her. So I'm praying this time that with him I can breastfeed him for at least a year. So that's something. If you have tips about that too, let me know. If you're a breastfeeding mom, and you know, just it's nice to have people to talk to that relate to you. Of course, fed is best. I'm not saying either one is best. Fed is best. Like I said, Bristol did not get to breastfeed long. She was on formula. And of course, you know, she was healthy. She had trouble gaining weight at first. I think it was the switch. And then she also had really bad acid reflux, so we switched formulas a lot to try to get her on the right one. So yeah, I'm hoping like me breastfeeding. I know girls and boys can be colic. I'm not saying that, but I have known a lot more of baby boys being colic. I'm praying that doesn't happen. Obviously, if it does, we will get through it. And like I said, Bristol did have the acid reflux problem, so I kind of look for him to have one too. It really runs in the family on both sides. So maybe his won't show till later, and I hope it doesn't because it's awful. But that's something that I have thought about. And I don't know if this is normal or if it's weird, but I am a lot more nervous for this labor and like this baby than I was for Bristol. And you think you'd be more nervous for like your first and not your second, but I'm not sure why. And then like Tyler says opposite, he says he's more nervous, or he was more nervous for Bristol than he is for this, which he had a hard time while I was in labor, so I hope that he's telling the truth and that he can handle this time. Because I was really blessed to be able to have my mom and my grandma, my sister and Tyler in the room when I had Bristol. And this time I'll just have Tyler, which I'm thankful I get at least one person, because with this pandemic, you know, they could take that away like they have in doctor's offices. I've been fortunate, I've been able to have him at my doctor's appointments too, but I know some people aren't fortunate enough to get that, which is just absurd. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, you know, I feel like that pregnancy and childbirth is such an important time to have, you know, support, and some people don't have that anyways, but right now I feel like they're taking that away. And I understand the safety and precautions, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I feel like this is a very important time to be able to have someone with you. So that's my opinion, and I'm not here to talk about my opinions on things, but you know, if you know someone that's pregnant, or you know, you've been through it, just support people. Or if you are pregnant, don't feel bad to reach out to people for support, because sometimes we just feel, or for myself, I just feel like alone. I feel lonely, and I'm not alone, but you just need people that understand how you feel. And sometimes even people that have been through pregnancy, obviously everybody's different and they don't understand either. So it's nice to find people that you can talk to and relate to, and or people, even the people that give you actual like advice, that they give you real advice, not just like, oh, it's gonna be fine, don't worry about it. You know, those are nice things to say, but sometimes we need to hear more, like, how did you get through this, or how will I manage this, or, you know, we need to know ways to cope with things. And especially like for me, I had pretty bad postpartum with Bristol. It didn't hit right away, I would say, but like I did say, I'd have surgery and stuff, and I was in the hospital off and on for like the first 3 months of her life, and I do think that put not necessarily a strain, but it put it was hard. Like, I don't feel like my motherly instincts kicked in the way I thought they would. I've always been someone, like, I've always babysitted since I was 12, 13 years old. Like, children have always been like my thing, you know. I've worked in daycare, like that's been what I love. So I just thought, honestly, for myself, it would just come really natural. And like the taking care of her came natural. Like, I knew how to take care of her. But when you form a bond with a child, that's super important. And like when I first had her, I didn't really get to do skin to skin, like kangaroo care, due to her lungs, which that was super important. She had fluid on her lungs. They had to take care of that. But I missed that time with her. And they didn't let me hold her till like the second day. Nobody told me I could pick her up until like the second day. So now it's just kind of taught me what to look out for with this pregnancy, and I feel like I'll be a lot more vocal for labor and like with what I want and stuff, because I wasn't that vocal. For one thing, I was like really out of it with Bristol. Like, I I slept like the whole day when they had induced me, and then they come in at midnight and tell me, oh, it's time for you to push. So you're just a little bit like, what? It was really a lot. I did not have a bad labor, like as far as pushing. There was just some things that, like I said, Bristol had the fluid under her lungs. The doctor, he was not prepared. The nurses didn't prep my room at all. Like, you know, you always envision, like, the lights are dim, they have, like, the big light, they prep your bed. None of that happened for me. It was really, like, bright, like it is in here right now, just from the normal lighting. And it was so different than what I envisioned. Like, the nurse just sat on my bed and, like, okay, you ready? Like, push, and then just don't push, we're getting the doctor. And it was super weird. Like, it wasn't what I had anticipated for your first birth, which nothing can go as planned. I just don't think they were as prepared. They didn't think I would go so fast, I think is what it was. So this time around, hopefully, for one, I hope I don't have to be induced this time. You know, if I do, I do. As far as with Bristol, I had to be induced because I had cholestasis. My blood work so far has been okay. I have had the itching, so I'm not really sure about that. But as of right now, I won't have to deliver early as of right now. I don't feel like my body will go to my due date. My due date's October 31st, but I could be wrong. I could go after my due date, but we know our bodies, and I don't feel like I'll go the full time, just from things that I feel now. But we'll see. And I'm going to make sure to have a list of the things that I want. Like, I want my skin to skin unless something is just major. Like, obviously if he has an issue, please fix it, or me. But other than that, please do not take my child from me. Something else, like they changed Bristol's first diaper without my knowledge. And like, you wouldn't think, oh, I want to change my baby's poopy diaper. Like, that's their first diaper, you want to. And I wanted to breastfeed, and they gave her formula before asking me. Which they say, you know, that helps with jaundice. And she was pretty jaundiced. We had to stay a few extra days for that. You know, so I understood, but they didn't really ask what the mother wanted was the thing. So that was super upsetting too. Of course, when you're young, I guess they just think that you don't know, which some people do read and research and know things, young or not. But this time I'll be much more prepared and kind of know more what I want. I'm just, I don't know, I'm just much more nervous this time. I guess because of the things that went wrong before. Like I said, I don't know what to do and say. And stand up for myself more. I'm way more outspoken now than then. If you know me, you know that. So, I'm just hoping everything goes good and we have a healthy baby. That's the most important thing. And, yeah. So Saturday I'll be 31 weeks, which is just crazy. Like, it has flew by. You know, we spent most of the time in the house because of this pandemic, so it's all good. But I didn't really mean to get off on this rant. I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys. So, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great week.